What's up, people? My name is Jonathan. Welcome to Arranging Things Episode 3. I have to give a big shout out to all the people who have given me positive feedback about my channel. I'm still on my learning journey, and I'm glad that what I've done so far has been helpful to some people. Today, because I think I got a good feedback on how I approach my songwriting, I think I'm going to definitely go back into a song I've recorded and a little bit of the then and now kind of approach. I'll look at a song I wrote the basic idea for on the 23rd of December 2017, because I make good records of that. It was song number 98, or riff / song idea number 98. And it was quite rough around the edges when I wrote it. But it was just I was messing around with the acoustic guitar, and I came up with a kind of a riff, and I kind of played off of that. So what I'll do to start out with, I think I'll just kind of play it for you a bit. So what it was is just kind of a song that goes like kind of playing off a D and G with a D with a F sharp in the bass. And what it is it's a kind of arrangements of song type which I like to try and do if I can. A lot of songs will start that, you know, the whole music starts on the root of the chord. So if you have a song in G, obviously the first chord they start out with is G, and then it goes from there. What I like is songs that start kind of off key, or start with a chord that's completely unexpected. So it already puts you, that's different. And this song kind of starts like that. So I'll just play quickly the basic riff of the song. So what I'm doing is I'm playing kind of like the song, I'm not good on chords. It's a song that's in Highway to Hell, for example. It's like a D chord with a F sharp and a bass, and you're muting the A string. So it goes. Now that last chord, don't ask me what the hell it is. It just sounds cool to me. What I'm doing is I'm playing, I've got my first finger on the E string. I've got 2 fingers on the 5th and 6th string. So I've got, it's all first fret. So E and B string first fret, E string first fret, and I'm muting the A string. Again, those who know music theory very well in the audience or listening could tell me what the hell that is. It just sounds cool, and it fitted. And it's all kind of off-color chords. And it has, to me, a very spacey feel, a very dreamy, spacey feel, which is where I'm coming to that, where I got the idea of the theme of the song for. So that was basically it. I said, oh, that sounds cool. I recorded the song idea, and then I came up with a kind of another part of the song. I wasn't sure if that was a chorus or a verse. When I got into this other part I thought fit with it, I thought that the second part I wrote would fit better as a chorus because it was a bit more straight up and had a bit more energy to it. So I'll play that second part. And so on and so on. So it was basically A. I think that's a sus4 or whatever, but again, I'm not a music theory. It's just some sort of sus chord. And then a G, but I'm muting the A string, so not so just the first and the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th strings are strummed, and then the same part, what I call the Highway to Hell chord, and then completely like to take you off guard, F, and then G, E, and then back in. So I love to kind of just kind of surprise you and just like, whoa, just take you off the rails a bit. The song starts like that. Starts on a chord that you wouldn't expect it to start on, based on how the key of the chord of the song is, and it ends with the end of the chorus with that F and E, which are kind of like a key change or off color. So that's this basic riff of the song. I wrote that. Then I basically kind of recorded those parts and tried to find a drum part and a bass line that fit, and I put those down. Then I went and got some lunch, and then an idea for some lyrics just came to me like this. I mean, literally, I checked the time frame. I think it was 1 o'clock, 1:30. I'd written the bass, the drums, and the guitar by 1:30 in the afternoon. I had written that, and then by 3:30, I had written the lyrics, found a melody, and laid them down. It's a pretty rough and shitty performance, I must say. It was just to get the idea down. So you feel free to laugh and say I was out of tune or whatever. I know it's a pretty shitty performance, but the basic idea was there. So what I'll do now is I'll play you the song, not in its entirety, but just parts of it so you can get a feel for it. So it starts out with some drums. And then it has this kind of lead line. And I think I thought this was pretty cool. It has a very sad kind of feel to it. And that also inspired me that I got spacey kind of feel. And then I got that sort of sadness. And that gave me the theme for the song. Shitty performance, yeah, I know. It was just to lay down, get an idea down, and I wasn't quite sure how to sing it and so on, so please excuse the shitty performance. Metaphysical union in a different paradigm. Opportunities window, expired access time. And then I have this part, breathing room, and then that part I played earlier, the A, the two what I call highway to hell chords, and then the A, then the G, and then to F. And then so that's basic structure of the song. I thought I was onto something. At that time, again, this is more than 2 years ago. My production technique was not as good as it is now, and the guitar, the way I just basically plugged the guitar, the piezo pickup directly into the interface and recorded it. It doesn't sound plugged in. I don't know. Maybe there's some good guitars out there. I haven't found a really good way to have a plugged-in acoustic guitars to sound good. To be honest, when I listen to the unplugged things like Alice in Chains from the 90s, their acoustic guitar tone also sounds kind of crappy. It just sounds like a plugged-in acoustic guitar instead of a mic'd up one. Anyway, so that's the song idea. What I did then is fast forward 2 years or about a year and a half later, I was never really happy with the vocal performance. I felt because there's not a lot of guitar in there. It's all acoustic. There's no, as you can see, it's all acoustic bass and drums, and the drums are quite relaxed. I felt that it needed something dense in the vocals, so I decided to go full on, multi-layered Alice in Chains style vocal in there. So I found, and I just basically found a harmonized vocal way to put it in the entire song. The other thing I did, I was never happy with the acoustic guitar recording, and I re-recorded the entire acoustic guitar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this episode actually into multiple segments. What I'm going to do first of all is focus on the arrangement of the song, how I kind of took the song from that basic idea you heard and really took it to a pretty good notch, I think. But the way I re-recorded the acoustic guitar was kind of an experiment, and I'm very happy with the result. And I want to share with you what I did, because it was nothing I learned online. It was just something I tried out, and I found I had a pretty good result. So I want to share with you the recording technique I used for the acoustic guitar. It was quite intensive and it was quite some effort, but hopefully maybe by sharing you with what I did, maybe you can just save all that time and experimentation and do it. Again, maybe it doesn't work for you, maybe a different type of guitar or whatever, but different type of song, but it worked for me, and I'd like to share with you what I did there. And then the last thing I'd like to discuss in this song is the bass. This is going to be a small segment, but I want to cover, to me, a big part of this song is how the bass works in this song, and I'll cover that also in a separate episode. But first of all, let's fast forward now about 1.5 to 2 years beyond that half-assed performance, to be honest, guitar and everything wise. And let's go to the performance where I basically re-recorded pretty much everything. The vocals re-recorded, the bass line, I had a bass line there, but I added some further lines, fill lines in there, and I also changed the complete bass tone. I went for a more, sorry to say, Alice in Chains type style. You can see a recurring theme here. I use a lot of techniques from Alice in Chains. Played around with the drums, also, you know, came up with a bit different, a bit more fuller sound on the drums there, and I also arranged redid the arrangement. What I also found in the original song, I had 2 verses. So it was the intro part you heard, that lead line, and then it did that lead line again. It was another second verse, and then I had a solo part where it was the same verse part, but a solo played on top, and I just felt it just got monotonous. The same riff going through the whole song, except for the chorus where you do that session. So I came up with a pretty cool part, and what I'll do is I'll play that for you now. And again, being non-music theory, I was just honestly messing around with the guitar, and I came up with something. I have no clue what the chords were, but I wanted something that what I was looking for is something that kind of walks up. So dun, 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 to build tension up. So I already had these 2 what I call the Highway to Hell chords. So I was looking for something that stepped up. So I just was messing around with the guitar, and I found this way to play. And change the strumming pattern to be a bit more, because the strumming pattern in the first part was, so it was like some single note picking and then a heavy strum. And this one I was doing da da dum da dum 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 da da dum da dum 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 da da dum. So like putting some 16th notes in there to add a bit more energy. So again, I'll play that part, what I came up with. And what I'm playing there is, excuse me for calling this the 2 Highway to Hell chords, and then basically taking that chord, which is basically the 3rd fret on the E string, muting the A string, the D string is open, and then the G and the B string with 3rd fret as well, and muting the high E string. So I just took that up 2 frets, and then I came up with this chord, which is 6th fret on the E string, muting the A string, D string open, then it's the 7th fret on the G string, and the 6th fret on the B string. I'm muting the high E. So, and I found that was a pretty cool progression, and I used that as my my solo part. But then I had, okay, that sounds cool, but then I need to go from that where the strumming is getting a bit more energetic and a bit more hectic, kind of flamenco style, you know, with a bit more energy. But then I need to drop back down to the where again the strumming is more leisurely, and the singing there that's the highlight of the song, the chorus. The singing takes the song forward at that point. But yet I need to go from a high energy strumming part, for that strange 4-chord progression, back down to the A. And I just came up with a different kind of ending of the solo, and I came up with this part. So it was like C with, I think it's C add 9, I think. So that's the chords I came up with at the end of the solo. So from sorry, I played something wrong there, but you got the point. Again, no clue what that is. I just know it's like a C add 9, I think it is, and then and then also ending. That's a chord that keeps you in suspense here, and I want to do that to build up the tension into, and that fits perfectly back into the A and that whole chorus part. So, having said all of that, that's what I came up with, and I came up with those parts a little bit, quite some time after I wrote the original idea, because I wanted to spice up the song. I felt it could do more, and we could add another part in there and make it sound better. So let me show you then what I came up with. This is the kind of the latest version I came up with really all my plugins and everything thrown at it. So, and I also came up with like a space rocket kind of effect there. And these are acoustic guitars completely re-recorded, double tracked. I'll go into that in a whole other episode, and we'll dive into that. And that's that lead part, obviously also re-recorded. And a lot more delay and reverb on there to make it spacey. Now here's the vocals coming in.
I wish I could have met you in a different space and time.
Multi-layered, multi-tracked harmony vocals, and that goes throughout the whole song. Added some fills in there. You saw that little fill. There was a little bit of bass boom, 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 boom part in there. But it's the same sort of feeling there.
Singularity has passed its prime. Could have been so different in a different place, a different space and time.
Also, I needed to find a good transition. I found that fill. I really struggled, I must say, with that fill between the chorus and it's like a post-chorus. I really struggled with that. I also added a harmony lead part here. Listen to this part here. So I added the second time around to bring them more interest. I added that harmony part in there. Again, anything you bring in new that's unexpected builds up interest. So second verse is uneventful. I'll just skip forward to the end of the second chorus going into the solo. So this is the post-chorus and that. And I would say that. Sorry, let me go back again. Listen to this fill here.
In a different place, a different space and time.
So that boom, 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 boom kind of feel. I really struggle with that fill, and that was a nice fill, right? So those 4 chords I was telling you about that I came up with. And I also had the drums kind of going a little bit wild there and going with the right cymbal. And just adding, just want to build a lot of energy there and really go in a completely different place with the song. A lot more strumming. So now here comes these parts I was telling you about. So with the C add 9. Again, take you in a completely different direction. And then it fit perfectly in with the chorus again. Where the strumming is more relaxed, but again, that break was a nice bridge there. And also I was able to have a nice build up on the drums. Bring in. Now here's another part here. I didn't tell you about that part, but that's another part. I wanted to even though I had really changed completely the production style and I had thrown a lot more interest into the song, I wanted something even more. So I came up at the end with a kind of a completely different way of ending the chorus in the third part. So it's good could have been so different once if we retrace that lost embrace in a different place and time. So I went from there, from a C to a B flat, and then to a G sharp, and then G. Again, I didn't look at any music theory. I was just messing around with the guitar, and I found those 4 chords, and they just fit perfectly to end that. I was just looking for something to vary it up right there. So I'll play that again. So I went from a C, B flat, a G sharp, G. It just worked. Don't ask me why. I'm sure there's some theory, music theory on what I did, and there's some technical name for it, but it just frigging worked. So again, here's the end of the third course.
In a different place, a different space.
Sorry, that was, go forward again. So this is the end of the chorus, of the solo. Coming into the third chorus, there was 3 choruses and 2 verses. The chorus was repeated at the very end here. And I put a lot more grunt in my voice. Again, because you ended on a solo on a high, so I wanted to keep that interest up. So then we go with completely different place. C, B flat, G sharp, G, but a G is the base of the song, and it fits perfectly in with this here. And then if that wasn't enough, I recorded a 4-part harmony at the very end there. You heard that different space and time, and then just to end on a high. So guys, that was kind of how I took that kind of half-assed performance and really added a lot more spice into that. And my takeaway to you is, go back to your old songs, and you can always come up with some things. Again, there's always a limit. There's also a saying that you should lock the door and say, okay, song's done now, no more. You can tweak a song to death, but in this case, one day I said, I'm going to dust the song off and try and see what I can do with it. And I came up with these ideas. It didn't take that long. Maybe you can't polish it up. There's a lot of song ideas where I know it has potential. I just can't find anything to take it there. But, that's try it out. Take your old song ideas, dust them off. Maybe you could come up with some fresh ideas like I did here. And I think the result was pretty darn good. So that's all I got for now for you on arranging things. Next episode, we're going to look at how I recorded the guitars. After that, and I changed my mind. We're not going to look at bass. I'm going to show you the vocal arrangement. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you, it took me a long time to record those vocals, and there was a lot of intricate harmonies going on there. And I'll just split that out and show you what I did there. So we'll do that next episode. Hope you enjoyed this. Give me a like if you liked it. If you didn't like it, say that as well. It's a free country, and a subscribe would be really appreciated, as I'm trying to build up some momentum on this channel. Every subscribe, builds me some buzz, and I really appreciate it. So be safe out there, guys.